Hey y'all, so I am filming this video for the second time because last night I recorded this originally and figured out that I only got about 5 minutes in and then my camera literally shut off, but I was completely unaware of that, so I literally just kept rambling and rambling on for about 45 minutes, and then when I go to check the camera, it's off. And that is honestly one of the worst feelings that I've ever felt. And it's definitely not it because you feel like you just did all of that and wasted your time. And honestly, I thought I had some pretty good information that I was giving out to you guys. I was honestly thinking about not even recording this video anymore, but I am dedicated to get this done, and here we are. I'm going to re-record this video for you guys, so I really hope that you enjoy this video. Alright, so I just want to share some college advice for you guys that I wish I would have known before I went into college. Don't get me wrong, I'm someone who I do a lot of research, and my senior year of high school, I was watching all the college advice videos, all the tips. I was watching videos specific to my school, which leads us into my first tip for you guys. I really recommend that you do your research. Do your research for college information in general, just so you know if this is the right thing for you, because as we know, guys, nowadays college isn't the answer for everybody. So make sure you do research on college in general, on majors. If you don't know which major that you want to be in so far, all you have to do is go watch a video on YouTube. There's plenty on which major is going to earn you the most money, which major is going to coincide with what you believe in, and just the description on the different majors and how they go hand in hand with each other. Also, don't just generalize, but do the research specific to your school. So I go to Florida A&M, which is Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University. Before I even stepped foot onto campus, I watched so many videos of people who were there prior to me. Granted, it's an HBCU, which is a historically black college or university. There weren't really that many videos up online at the point of me being a senior in high school back in 2022. There was maybe about 10 or so videos that were up, and a lot of them were up by the same exact YouTuber. I believe her name was like Bree something. I'm blanking, but I watched a lot of her videos, and it really did help prepare me for going to FAMU specifically, because you can know all the information about college in general, but if you don't know the specific information to your school, then you're still going to be a little unprepared stepping on campus. Once I knew which dorm I was going to be living in on campus, I made sure that I could find videos that had that specific dorm in them, and I studied them. So I studied those couple of videos. There was maybe like 2 or 3 videos that included my specific dorm, and I studied those videos over and over and over again because I wanted to see what the dorm life was like in that specific building, what the room size was like, how the people specifically utilized the space in that dorm. And whenever I got on campus and we were moving in with my family, I probably really annoyed them because I knew exactly where everything was going to go. I was like, guys, just listen to me. This is how I'm going to best utilize this space. This is gonna go there. All this stuff is gonna go under the bed. We're gonna have the razors here. Gotta get the blackout curtains. I need my refrigerator to go on this side. I need the microwave to go on top of the refrigerator. And then we're gonna have a basket with a bookshelf, and we're gonna move the bookshelf from under the bed and put it by the refrigerator. And the desk's gonna go in this corner. Guys, when I say I was literally mental about how I wanted my dorm to look and be set up, My family, I was driving them crazy. And they were like, why do we drive all the way up here, 4 hours away, if you're just going to tell us exactly where everything needs to go and we're not going to have any input whatsoever? And I was like, you know what, guys? It's my way or the highway, okay? Because if you guys leave, I'm going to set up this room exactly how I want it to be anyways. So you got to work with me here.
I would like to put it back, but
Okay.
it's fine.
It's okay the way it is.
Oh, I'm going to put it back.
And yeah, I was kind of a raging lunatic when it came to that, but that's because I came fully prepared on how I was going to best utilize the tiny space in which we were operating in. So the final thing that I'm going to suggest when it comes to doing your research is using Rate My Professor. Now, I'm sure you guys are not new to Rate My Professor, but guys, I'm telling you, it really does help and it does make a difference. The people that came before you in those classes, they really are trying to see the next people thrive, and they're not lying to you. And by the way, I'm talking about a majority. If majority of the ratings are bad for a professor, listen to them, don't take that class. Now, you can take classes at any time, so please make sure that if there are no other available professors, just wait until the next semester to take that class, because you'd rather wait to take that class than to take a class with a professor that is not going to have your back, does not care about the students, is almost setting you guys up to fail. Because trust me, 9 times out of 10, if you have a bad professor, there's going to be a curve in that class. But what about the 1% of the time when that professor doesn't even have a curve and they're bad? That sucks, okay? And you have to deal with that. You're going to have to end up dropping out of the class anyways, unless you just take the L and then your GPA tanks. But guys, just don't even go through that. Save yourself the hassle and just go ahead, listen to those Rate My Professor reviews. They are telling the truth. I promise you, they're telling the truth. Learn your campus culture. I mean, stuff that is very specific to your campus. For example, at Florida A&M, we have Set Fridays every other Friday, and Set Friday is basically this tradition that our school puts on, and it's almost like a small little like festival slash like concert, like a kickback. I don't really know exactly what the right terminology is for it, but it's basically like we have a bunch of people in tents and they're selling things for you. I remember my freshman year, every time I went to the set, I would go to this specific tent and they were selling like little croc charms for like $1 a piece or like $3 a piece, depending on how extravagant it was. But I got so many different croc charms that year, very specific to like what you wouldn't find in a normal croc store, guys. Like, they were so cute. I could show you guys a couple of them later. That's something that is not at every school. And they also had like a section away at the amphitheater across the way, and there would always be Greek life performing. Or we would have a specific DJ that always came out and played music, and we would sit there in the crowd and we would dance.
What you know about me? What you know about me? What you know about me? What you know? My lip gloss is cool. My lip gloss be popping. Over 7 in my locker, and all the boys do
And we always made sure to get there bright and early first. At the stage, we wanted to have the best seats in the house. I mean, there's no seats, but you know, standing up for that period of time, we want to get the best view as possible. So me and my friends made sure to get there early. But that's something that is unique to every campus. Not every campus has something like that. Not every HBCU has something like that. It's very specific to FAMU, so you want to make sure that you learn about the events that are unique to your school and makes your schooling experience that more one of a kind. Another thing that's very unique to my school, we had fish fry Fridays and fried chicken Wednesdays, guys. I know it's an HBCU, so it's very stereotypical, but I think that's almost the point. We're kind of like reclaiming something that is very stereotypical to Black people, and it's honestly really nice. Like, I remember my freshman year, I would always try to race down to that cafeteria on Wednesdays first to get that fresh fried chicken, y'all. Like, when I say it was so good, honestly, the more and more I ate it, the more I didn't really think it was that great. But that's besides the point, y'all. It's an experience, and you guys need to get the full experience if you're going to your specific university, and especially if you're going to an hbcu. The next tip that I have for you guys is don't be afraid to branch out and make new friends, because they're new just like you. It's honestly, it's not that hard, guys. I know we kind of stress about going to a new place and having to make friends, and that can be very stressful. But think about it. If you're a freshman and you're with your freshman class, everybody in that freshman class is new to campus just like you are, and I can guarantee you that they're just as scared about making friends as you are. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there and get along with people. I'm sure that they will friend you up. However, I do have to give you guys a warning that everybody is here putting on a front, not necessarily always in a bad way, but it's the first couple of weeks of school, and not everybody is being their true, authentic selves. They're all trying to put up the best versions of themselves so they can make friends. So you might start off those first couple of weeks and be like, oh my gosh, like, I have so many friends, this wasn't even that hard. And in reality, by spring semester, half of those friends won't be by your side like they were at the beginning. And that's okay. That is okay, as long as you find your circle of people that you can trust. Don't go out telling your whole life story to everybody that you just met. I don't advise that to anyone. Things can come back and bite you in the butt, because guys, when I say that college is honestly worse than high school when it comes to the drama, it's bad. I know a lot of people think that once they get to college, oh, we're grown, we're adults, everybody's like sophisticated, and we're like scholars, we're getting our degree, and nobody has time for drama. Guys, it's the exact opposite of that. Like, think about the high school drama and what happened and occurred when you were in high school, and then now think about those same people going away from their parents and away from parentals who are always watching them and having something to say, and now they're wreaking more havoc. They're literally having more drama than ever. Like, it's literally drama times 10. Like, no joke. So just please be careful about what you put out into the world, because it could come back to bite you. If you need some easy ways to find friends, the first place you can start is your roommate. When I was in high school, I met my best friend, and well, actually, we met in 8th grade, but that's besides the point. Anyways, me and my best friend, we ultimately ended up deciding to go to the same college. That wasn't always the plan. She was originally going to go to another college, but eventually she ended up wanting to go to FAMU as well, and I was more than excited, because who wouldn't be? You're going to college, one of the most free years of your life, and we both have strict parents, so it was honestly like, oh my gosh, like, we're gonna have each other, we're gonna be free, like, it's just, you feel more security having your best friend there, or someone that you've known and is a piece of home with you. So it is a really good feeling. However, we decided at the very end of senior year of high school that we were not going to be roommates, and we made that very clear to each other. We are going to have such a great college experience. We're going to, of course, enjoy it together, but we will not be roommates, because you never know, like, what can happen when you room with somebody that you are really close with, and we didn't want that to mess up anything, and we definitely didn't want to mess up our 5-year-long friendship at that point. Alright guys, sorry, the flash turned off on my phone because it's overheating, but I literally don't have time to stop this video because I have an appointment to go to soon. So we're just going to continue on, and hopefully you guys are not disturbed by the lighting issue. Well, long story short, we basically decided that we weren't going to be roommates because we didn't want to ruin our relationship. So we both went through the normal process of our rooming situation, and we decided to get just whatever roommate that we got. Now, this was still a little bit different because we were in an LLC, which is a living learning community at our college. So it was very specific to the College of Social Sciences, Arts, and Humanities. So we already had that distinction with us and our roommate. We knew they were going to be a fellow person in our specific College of Social Sciences, but we still didn't know who this person was going to be. So we got a random roommate, and I loved my roommate. She was honestly such a sweetheart. She was very shy, but I was determined to be friends with her and have a good relationship with her. And at any given chance, I invited her to go places with me and my friends. Sooner than later, she became one of the girlies, and I still talk to her to this day. So it's important, guys, to make good friendships, and you can start with your roommate. There's no reason why, if you're living with a person, that you shouldn't be at least cordial with them. You don't have to be best friends with them, but at least have a good relationship, because guys, you're living in a room with this person. That was honestly one of my biggest fears, that I was going to have a roommate that was kind of psychotic, and then I was going to be trapped in a room with them, and I wasn't going to be able to leave the room because they had to make accommodations, and then I'm like stuck in a room with a weirdo. Like, guys, that was literally one of my biggest fears going into college, but I didn't even have to worry about that because I got the greatest roommate in the world. And by the way, I actually did end up rooming with my best friend sophomore year, because we were like, you know what? If freshman year turns out okay, how we feel based off of like a roommate situation, next year we're going to room with each other. So that's what we ended up doing before I ended up having to leave college because I was pregnant and I had a baby. But that's besides the point.
But anyways,
The next piece of advice that I want to give you guys is, once you build a close knit group of friends, just go ahead and make sure that you steer clear of dangerous situations. Find yourself a group of friends who are going to look out for you before you even look out for yourself, y'all. Now, still look out for yourself, but find a group of people who is going to have your back in these situations, because college is a breeding ground for creepy people, drugs, alcoholism, a lot of messed up stuff. And people think that they're free from their house and they're adults now and they can do all of these things and partake in all of these activities, and sometimes people really can't handle it and you get yourself in really bad situations. And if you're going to do stuff like that, guys, I don't condone underage drinking, underage drug activity. I'm not telling you guys to go out and do that, but if you do decide to do that, at least have a group of friends who are going to be there to have your back. And I mean people you can really trust, not people who you're like, oh, I hang out with Keisha and them and I think they're pretty cool, so I'm gonna go to the club with them. And yeah, no, guys, I mean people that you've been with from day one at your college and university, and you guys know that y'all are like this, and they're not going to leave you stranded at a party for some boys over there. And by the way, you guys don't need to be at every party. Study. Make sure you're studying, because there's going to be a party every single day of the week. I am not joking. There's going to be a different party, kickback, every single day of the week. You don't have to be at every single one of them. I wasn't there. I went, of course, I had fun occasionally, but more times than not, I was not at a party. I don't understand the people who think that they have to be at a party every day of the week. Alright guys, just making a brief intermission here. This is the Notability app. I use this app to study and take notes and organize my classwork and paperwork that I have. I just wanted to show y'all around the app a little bit. I've been using Notability since the 5th grade. I went to a technology school and we've always had iPads for as long as I can remember. And this is the app that they had pre-installed onto our iPads to do our work. This app has changed for the better over the years, in my opinion. This is the advanced version of the app. I do pay $11.99 annually to get specific templates and designs, as you can see right now. There are specific ones for planners, to-do lists, notes, coloring pages, anything that you can think of that will help you organize work and get things done. I think this is a great way to take notes by having something that is pre-laid out for you, and you don't really have to do that much thinking about it. It's more quick, it's very efficient, and I like this new addition to the app. This is obviously such a good tool to utilize, but I personally like creating my own notes, like this one that I have for YouTube specifically. This is actually the notes that I took for this video. So as you can see, these are the points that I am going over and have been going over. And then here's some YouTube ideas that I have jotted down on this pre-laid out sticky note like template. The reason why my notability looks so blank is because this is actually new on this iPad. I just got it. All my old notes are on my other iPad. I just wanted to show you guys these welcome notes that are pre-installed into the app that tells you how to use the tools of Notability, just in case I didn't make it clear enough in this video. But yeah, basically that's all for this app, and I really recommend you use it to make your note-taking very efficient. The next thing I'm going to advise you guys to do is to build a relationship with your administrators and your professors on campus. Building a relationship with your professors is one of the most important tips that I could possibly give you. These are the people that are going to determine your grades and ultimately your GPA. It is so important to have a good standing relationship with your professors, even your administrators, because these people are over the professors, and if you don't have a good relationship with your professor, at least you have a good relationship with your administrators who can talk to your professors because they're above them. For example, the dean of students of your specific college, make sure you get it in good with them, because if you ever need a dean's note, for example, I don't know if a dean's note is at every single school if that's needed, but at least at my school, you need a dean's note if you want to have an excuse that for a reason as to why you missed class, and that's the only acceptable way that your professor is going to take it. The dean's note is not 100% guaranteed. You can try to get a dean's note, but the dean might not always grant that access to you. Trust me, it happened to me a couple of times, and I was a little bit blowed that I was not able to get a dean's note. So I bet if I had a better relationship with my dean, I could have been able to get more dean's notes. And guys, they weren't lying when they said that college was going to be tough and that the teachers weren't going to let things slide. I know that when you went to middle school and you got to high school and they were like, oh, the high school teachers, they're not going to care, and the high school teachers are going to be all whatever, whatever. I promise you, we all got to high school and that didn't happen. But I can guarantee you, college, they weren't lying, y'all. They were not lying, because these college professors can care less. They really don't care. Sometimes I honestly wonder if they're okay, if everything is fine, because there's been so many situations that I've been in, and these college professors really just can give two craps about what you went through that week or how many other classes you have work in and you weren't able to, like, they don't care. My next tip is, honestly, I don't know if it's specific to HBCUs or if it's specific, no, it's not specific to FAMU. I've heard a lot of HBCUs have this problem, but I'm just going to give it out as a general tip no matter what university you're going to, HBCU or not. Don't plan on receiving your financial aid in time. Let me say that again. Don't plan on receiving your financial aid in time, because you will not get it in time. I got my financial aid literally halfway through the semester of my freshman year.
Impossible!
Now, granted, it's because I didn't know the ways of the game at that point in time. So I didn't know all the steps that I needed to take in order to get my financial aid at the earliest of my convenience. But still, that's ridiculous. There's no reason why the money that pays for our schooling should not be given to us by a certain time. Because guess what? My school, they literally give you an extra fee for not having your your tuition and your room and board paid by a certain time, but yet y'all didn't even grant me my financial aid by a certain time. So then I got slapped with an additional fee by something that I couldn't even control. Like, it's weird, y'all, but the financial aid process is extremely slow for whatever reason, and I just want to let you guys know that off the rip, get you guys prepared for that, because even if you do all the steps that you can possibly do, you're still going to get it late. It's just going to be a little bit earlier than what it would be like if you just did nothing and had no sort of preparation. So I just want to tell you guys that is the reality of the situation. You will not be receiving your financial aid at a good time. That being said, I want to let you guys know that you can stay on top of your financial aid. You can go onto your online portal and check the specific fees that are given to you. Why is there this fee on my account? Why is there that fee on my account? Ask those questions, because sometimes they really slap unnecessary fees. The final and last tip that I'm going to give to you guys is to keep in contact with your family and your relatives back at home. I know that when you go off to college, a lot of people can forget about their families just because they're so used to being cooped up in the house all the time and under the parents' roof and their rules. Trust me, I know all too well about that. And you get to college and you're like, I'm free, I'm finally free. But don't forget about your loved ones back at home. I promise you, they're thinking about you. And don't ignore their calls. Don't do that. Don't be that person. I understand you might be you're busy and you have things to do, but make sure you find the time to still talk to your family. Keeping in contact will make them more inclined to help you out in the real world, because it does get hard and tough out there on your own. And if you don't ever talk to your family, they're not going to want to keep up with you, and they're not going to want to help you out. Like, if you just call and ask them up for money and you don't even talk to them, they're going to be looking at you crazy. And of course, every day is not guaranteed. You want to keep a connection with your family, because you never know what can happen, and they're the ones who have always been there for you. So don't forget that. Alright, you guys, that's all for this video. I'm so sorry if it was a little bit jumpy and all over the place. Like I said, this is my second time recording this video. The storage on my phone is kind of acting up a little bit, so certain things that I wanted to say have been cut out, and I'm just kind of over it. So there's a couple of things that probably didn't make it into this video, but I hope that the tips that I did give to you are very helpful, and I hope that you guys have a great freshman year of college. The next 4 years of your life is going to be such a freeing experience, but also very testing, and I hope you guys just make the best of it. Good luck! Also, stay in tune for my next video, because I will be talking specifically more about HBCUs and also my specific HBCU that I go to. So make sure to give this a thumbs up, because like I said, I put so much work into trying to get this information out to you guys. So thank you. Bye.
Now when they see us in the streets, all they wanna do is take pics, and I'm like, okay. And when they hear us on the beat, all they wanna do is make hits, and I'm like, okay. Now when they see us in the streets,